Hollywood has never like, yes, I've gotten to do some cool things, but no one's ever been like, we choose you to be a part of this. Like, this is my way of like wedging myself in there in a way.
Hey, bold ones, and welcome to another episode of Act Bold. Today on the podcast, I have Clayton Farris. Clayton is an LA-based actor who grabbed my attention with, honestly, he came up in my Instagram feed with a really funny little skit. And so I immediately went over to his profile and started clicking around, and one was funnier than the next. So I immediately wrote him and said, hey, Clayton, come on the show. I want to talk to you and find out everything about what you're doing and how that's working for you. And here he is. So without any further ado, Clayton, welcome to Act Bold.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. I love doing podcasts and I love talking about acting and creativity.
Yes, well, you are extremely prolific. How many videos do you have on Instagram right now?
I mean, I don't know. I've been doing it for a really long time. I've always been an actor per se, but there was a social media app called Vine that came out years ago.
6 seconds,
The
right?
6 second video app, and I
Yeah.
was very reluctant to get on that app because I was really holding strong to like, I'm an actor. I don't do stuff like this. It just didn't really make sense in my head at the time. Luckily, my friend and comedy partner, I guess, at the time, really convinced me and encouraged me to make videos. So I started making videos on Vine just for fun, and those started kind of blowing up, and that kind of set the muscle that I've have to just create and create and create. And I'm really grateful that that was the case. But to answer your question, I don't know. There's got to be a thousand videos. Don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
easily. Yeah. And I was scrolling through your IMDb, and I mean, you're also very prolific in mainstream television and films and all of that as well, and doing shorts and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, I was like, this guy loves to act. He just wants to act.
I would say that's very true. And it is weird because I'm definitely, I identify as a character actor. And I would,
I
I
never would have guessed.
never would have guessed. I would think it's funny that my IMDb is, I mean, there's like 110 credits now. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know what like it says a lot. Like I'm like, huh, because not all of those are really, well-known television shows or movies. But it speaks to the fact that I really, really look for opportunity and search it out and enjoy. I still enjoy being an actor more than anything else I'm doing. So yeah.
Finding those opportunities and knowing how to search them out is exactly what trips up so many actors. It's tough to figure all this out on your own. Sorry for the interruption, but hey, look, we got to talk follow up for a sec. You meet that casting director, agent, or awesome collaborator. You have a great chat. You send your materials, and then crickets. Sound familiar? Listen, if the thought of follow up makes you feel awkward or spammy or just completely stumped on what even to say, you are definitely not alone. So many talented actors I know let amazing connections fizzle out simply because they don't have a solid, authentic follow up game plan. They're stuck. Here's the thing, following up isn't about being annoying. It's about building real relationships. It's about staying top of mind in a way that feels genuine, not desperate. You know what I mean? And because I know that this is a huge sticking point for so many actors, I'm hosting something special just for you. It's my free 5-day live follow up challenge. It's called Follow Up or Fade Out. Yep, totally free. And we do it live together over 5 days. I'm going to give you super simple, actionable steps, a clear system to take the guesswork and the cringe out of following up. We'll cover what to say, when to say it, and how to do it authentically. Plus, because it's live, you can ask me your specific questions in real time and get unstuck right then and there. So, no more wondering alone. So stop letting those connections go cold. If you want to finally nail your follow-up strategy, build those crucial industry relationships, and get your questions answered directly by me, you need to be in this live challenge. So just head over to actboldtraining.com/5-day-follow-up-challenge. I'm going to put that in the link below. Don't worry. It'll take like 30 seconds for you to sign up. Seriously, grab your spot now while you're thinking about it. All right. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. It totally does. As I said, that was the first thing that kind of like, after looking at Insta and then looking at your IMDb, I'm like, he loves to act. He just wants to be doing
Yeah.
this. So, okay. So let's kind of go back to the Vine days then, because there's a lot you can get across in 6, but that is definitely, well, you put it very well. That's a muscle that you have to train. So were you doing like kind of like a 1-2 punch of a joke back then, or were they full stories, or did it sort of tell me about the process
I
and
mean,
how that
when it
evolved?
came to Vine and that day, so I was my comedy partner and friend. We had a very close relationship. We weren't really together, but we were like very like this. So she was a girl, I'm a guy. We did a lot of kind of like relationship type comedy. Like we just would find what works best for us together here on the screen. We would do like just that sort of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It was just 6 seconds, so it like trained your mind to just be like, it was like a rhythm thing, like, you just get used to it. It wasn't until Vine got ripped away.
Did you write?
Yeah, I mean, most of this stuff, and still to this day, is written. Like I always say that I consider myself a writer almost first when it comes to the social media stuff, because that's really the strength. That's really what allows you to thrive there and be like prolific, as you say, is you have to continuously be writing content. The reason that I do write the content, even though it's just Instagram content, as some might say, is because first of all, I take it very seriously. I don't think of it as like, oh, it's just a dumb video or whatever. And I'm also like, I don't want to show up and have to trust that my brilliance is gonna find me in that moment. Like that's a tough,
Oh,
you know what
true.
I mean?
Yeah,
Like I want to
absolutely.
be able to go in and know it.
The more prepared you were, the more brilliant
Yeah,
you get.
be prepared as possible, and then
Yeah.
add on the back end sort of new ideas, improv, that sort of thing, you know? Yeah, for sure.
And had you trained in improv before beginning Vine, or was that something that kind of went
I
along
would
with it, or
say
did you learn how?
I'm one of those people that's always really found comfort and humor and being funny and like trying. It was a big, partly a coping mechanism and a defense mechanism when I was a kid. And I think as I got older, it was just something that I gravitated towards. And yeah, I did. When I moved out to LA, I did groundlings, where I only did 2 levels of that. But it's not that groundlings is great, but it wasn't. That's very like results focused, and like people that do the groundlings track really want to be groundlings, and that didn't
Sure.
really feel like that was like my track. So I got some great ideas from it, and then I just went on and did other things. I did improv. I was in improv groups with friends. But always, literally always, I've been making videos since I've lived in LA. I remember driving out to LA, and I've lived here for a while, but this is kind of like a sign of the times. When I drove out to LA to live here, to move here, there was this I was in like Arizona, driving from Texas, where I'm from, and I saw like a newspaper stand. And I remember very vividly in the newspaper stand, there was like this article, and it was like YouTubers using the internet to make money, or like something along the lines of like just a sign of the times of like, oh, the internet and content is becoming a thing. And this was like 15 years ago. This was like a while ago, but I feel like that moment actually was kind of like, oh, this moment means something, that I saw this sign, and this is going to be part of my like track. I don't really do YouTube. Like I don't post on YouTube. That's not my platform. but I've always just made content. I've always made some version of content.
So you're shooting vertical, right?
Mostly I'm shooting vertical these days, yes. Because I
Yeah.
did like
Yeah.
just to like I've made short films. I've made like movies that I've taken to festivals and that sort of thing. That's what I kind of did like first back in the day. And it's kind of adjusted to where I still work with some people where I'm doing more traditional like horizontal content, but the stuff that I'm posting on my platforms is mainly vertical. Yeah. All vertical.
All
Yeah.
vertical. Okay. And when you say your platform, so is that, like Insta,
I consider
TikTok?
Instagram my main platform, and then I consider TikTok like um just I post all the things I post on Instagram on TikTok because they're different. Like Instagram is a more personal kind of it's all about the algorithm, right? So Instagram is a little more personal, I think, and we're still seeing every now and then videos from people that we know. We're still seeing like things that really fit into our like our vibes and the thing we like. And TikTok is just way more like out of the blue. Like you never know what you're gonna get. You're just getting served weird videos. I actually have more followers on TikTok, and I make
Really?
money on TikTok, but I don't
Oh, wow.
consider it my main platform. I just Instagram is it.
Yeah. YouTube. I mean,
YouTube?
although for yeah, shorts, I think you don't make as much money. I know they're trying to improve
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah, I think
yeah.
for me, it's not like money yet less. Look, we all love money and we all need money, but money has never been my driving factor with this stuff because that's a code that you can't crack really until
Right.
you're doing it and you're in it. And I found that everything I've heard about YouTube is you kind of really have to stay in the same like
Niche.
niche and
Well, you are in a comedy
yeah.
niche.
So
I mean, you are like skit
exactly.
comedy.
But
Yeah.
I like to jump around with the themes and things I'm talking about so much that I just find that Instagram is a little more conducive for me. But I actually had a call with YouTube and they offered me some and they just like they were encouraging me to post on YouTube and but I really did hear from them that like like if you're going to do that you're kind of looking into posting like series or more like it feels a little bit overwhelming for everything else that I am doing as an actor and creator to also be posting on YouTube.
Ah, interesting. Because I mean, just what's popping into my head now. I mean, you do vertical anyway, and some of your skits are a little bit
Mhm.
longer. And I know YouTube now allows you to go up to 3 minutes
In
in
the
short,
shorts.
in vertical
Yeah, and,
short.
like, I think
Mm,
that posting to shorts is a good idea, like, all I'm gonna do is move my content that I post on Instagram and TikTok to YouTube Shorts. But to really,
yeah,
like, get a YouTube channel going and that is something that I wanna do, but it's just not happening right now.
a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
I get it.
and
I
I
get
don't
it.
mind a lot of work, but all my work is already going to, like, other avenues, you know? Yeah,
Exactly. There's only so much bandwidth and time that somebody has in
that's
a
true.
day. Although I can recommend a really great VA
Really?
if you need one. Yeah, really. We'll talk
Okay.
after. So, tell me about your ideation process. So, are you sitting down alone or with a team or with a partner and just kind of
So
like,
yeah, I mean, I think that it kinda comes different ways, like, I'm a spiritual person, so I really do kind of, like, um, give a lot of gratitude. This is gonna make someone turn off the podcast, but that's okay.
that's okay. We
I
don't
know,
need them.
I give a lot of, like, gratitude and thanks, um, for my creative spirit, like, I'm just always like, I'm so grateful that I am someone that prioritizes creativity and, like, that I spend time so I start from that place of, like, "This is fun, I love that I get to do this, and, thank you for this opportunity." And I think that that just gets you more in, like, a flow than it does, "I gotta make something, I gotta write something." And we already do this as actors. We're already paying attention to the world around us just by I think that we all do that, like, it's just embedded in us that we're just, like, paying attention. And I think that I've just taken that paying attention to everyone around me, their mannerisms, what they're saying, the weird subtleties of human like interaction. And you just kind of pull the ones that you like I just pull the ones that stand out to me. And I'm like, that's a video, that's a concept. You know, like
Do you keep like an index
I
file,
literally
like,
keep
or is it just
I
all up
keep
here?
a lot of times I'll have like one just running in my head that'll be there for like months and I'll finally do something with it. But mainly I'll just do notes. I'll just have my notes app is just like, like, I mean, even if I just went in there and read it, it's just like one liners of like things. Like,
Right.
just like, uh, I can't even find one, but like right now I'm working on a video called Liberal Couple. So I have a notes thing that's just like notes and I'll just add these things as they pop in my head. And then
Got it.
sometimes I do write with other people, or I think that more so I kind of write for other people. Like I will see someone that I'm going to collaborate with and I'm like, oh, I know who this character would be. I see this person as this certain way. Like, let's write for who we are and what our strengths are and like how we look. Maybe
I love,
you get a
yes.
cool coat and you're like, oh, this feels very like James Dean. So I'm gonna think of a
Mm.
video that could feature this coat. Like it's really like all that's all it is. I think a fun example is the rich couple. I have this
Yeah.
yeah, I have this series called That One Rich Couple, and it's really
Yeah.
blown up. And I think that it's interesting because I had in my notes app for years, literally, just like that rich couple that always talks about the house. Like that was the note. I knew I knew that was like funny. And I knew that people could relate to that because we all know that like that when someone has a lot of money that they call their place the house. And normal people just
Right.
say, "Why don't you come over?" Or like so I was like, that's a funny place to
Right.
start. And I approached
Yeah.
my friend Aliki, and that was one of the first videos. I think it was one of the first videos. But anyways, I was just like, I have this idea for like the house, like this rich couple, the house. We stumbled on the idea of wearing the same outfit and looking like twins. We didn't really that wasn't planned. It was just like, oh my God, yeah, this would be funny. Because we accidentally kind of
Yeah.
like I knew that I wanted them to be wearing like white. So we stumbled on the idea of like we look the same. And then that became kind of like an iconic image. Everything just fell into place for that to become like this series. And as silly as it is, it's like I mean, it's big. Like people recognize me on the street from it.
Oh,
We've been getting like
wow.
brand
Okay.
deals from it. Like it's really something. It's something. And
Yeah.
like especially if there's actors listening to this, I'm like, there's really a really opportunity to use social media to your advantage. Even if it's just like side job, even if it's just like being creative. Like, but anyways, I'm rambling. But yeah, it's just the ideas just come from everywhere and you just got to pay attention to the world around you. And
Yeah.
I don't think personally that I'm doing like the type of comedy that I like is kind of like truth and honesty. Like I'm not very
Yes.
much into just being like crazy and silly for silly's sake. Cut to me wearing a wig and like whatever running around. It's very silly, but I feel like they're coming
Right.
from like a honest, true place. Like I really do. And I like when the characters that I play say things. The things that get the biggest laughs are the things that are just straightforward and honest and like real.
And that people recognize. That's what I noticed about your comedy. There was a lot of truth in it. You were not, how can I put this? You were obviously, doing, the wink was not in the acting.
No, like that's
It was just in the writing
yeah.
maybe, but it wasn't in
a-
the acting
And I
itself.
think that
Yeah.
you want, and I think that this is the type of acting that I like too. And like, I'm working to be good at this. I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but I want to achieve that because audiences respond when they're like, oh my God, it's so real. Like I love when I watch something and I'm like, that is so funny because it's so spot on. It's so real. It's so honest. And that's what makes it
Yeah.
interesting and fun.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I always say, I mean, my favorite comedy is dramedy.
Absolutely.
The funniness of the ridiculousness of
Yeah.
life, like these situations that in the moment are not funny at
Right.
all, but with hindsight, or when it's not happening to me,
Yeah.
it's
But
funny,
also, I
right?
think
So
as actors, the fun like everyone, I know that actors love White Lotus because we see that show
Yeah.
as like
Yeah.
these lush characters, you know, like, oh, it'd be so fun. But like people talk about Parker Posey's performance in White Lotus as like being over the top. And I'm like, I'm from the South. That is not over the top. Like it, and it's, but how fun is that that you get, she gets to play in this world that is so like big, and like I dream of playing characters like that, like that are like these fully alive, big characters,
Larger than
larger than
life. Yeah,
life, because that's
absolutely.
who I like
Yeah.
in life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm drawn to those kind of people as well. That's why I have you
Yeah.
here, you know? That I love that. You just kind of jumped up. I mean, it was like literally a split second. I looked, I saw several of your skits and immediately reached out to you.
I'm so
So
glad you
that
did.
was, yeah. Yeah, me too. So, okay, so I have to ask about the house. That's obviously your house, right?
Which house? And the videos?
The house that's in the house. Yeah.
No. Like that, like you know, I live in LA. I
I'm
know, I
kidding.
know. So like,
Yes, yeah,
but the
yeah.
thing that's fun about it is it's become like we went to Palm Spring or to Joshua Tree, and we found the house. And
Ah,
you know, like I
okay.
think as we take those characters further, some of the fun is going to see the houses that they live in. And we'll just make it like a you know, like a staycation. We're like, let's go hang out at this house that has this beautiful pool and shoot some content. Like, it's a great life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Okay. So how many of these do you shoot in a week or a month?
So for me, I like to try to put one video out a week personally. Like that's like I'm more into quality, not quantity. I think some other creators are
Mhm.
more, it's reverse, but I've just found that once a week is good enough. And that gives you enough time to kind of focus and make a good video as opposed to just like, I don't know. I don't,
You gotta
yeah,
get
we got to get
something
something
there.
out. Like
Yeah.
jump on a
Right.
trend. And also like I really want this to service me as an actor and service me and my overall career as a writer and like creator. Oh, I want to make sure that the stuff I'm posting is good and feels, I hate the word cringy because I don't really believe in cringe, but that feel like if someone sees it, I want them to recognize that I have other things to offer, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. You take pride in your work as an
Yeah.
actor, and this is
Yeah,
acting.
absolutely.
Just because somebody else isn't. No,
And
absolutely. That
and
makes
so
perfect
and
sense to
also
me.
like, you know, like life happens. So say I am lucky enough to be shooting something and I'm in Atlanta or wherever you have to go. Like I might not be I'm not gonna shoot during that time probably because I don't have the people that I work with around me. So I also like stack some content. Like it's good to sometimes with the types of characters that I do, like you kind of overshoot. You get in the zone and you just kind of play around, and then you later on find out like, oh, there's more videos in this footage we shot that day if we just kind of edit it down. And like the truth of the matter is like this is filmmaking. We're doing the same thing. It's just on a completely different scale. And I, like we're shooting, we're editing, we're making sure the sound's good, we're picking locations, we're doing wardrobe, we're doing like everything you do in a movie or a TV show, just on a small scale and without these longer arcs. Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you? Is everything scripted, or are you just following an outline and then improvising the
So it
dialogue?
really depends on the type of video that I'm doing. Like a lot of the videos I did in the past were like I did like these breakup videos. I did a series of like breakup videos where I would take slang from different like generations. I did a corporate breakup video. I did like a 90s breakup. I did like Gen Z, and those all like kind of became like kind of viral videos. And those were all very meticulously written, and like I treated that like I was, you know, like I gathered all this info. I was like a historian. I gathered all this slang from these different time periods. I learned what the words meant. I put them together to make it make sense in the back and forth between me and another person, and found wardrobe and locations that matched what we were trying to do. And those were just really fun for me to do because I was like, this whole process was fun. It took a lot longer than you would think. Like there's real work going into these things.
For sure. Each one is a short
They
film.
are.
Yeah,
And there
totally.
is sometimes people, I feel like sometimes when I talk about the being a creator, people are just like, why? Like, but why? Like, why? And I can't, I just am like, I don't know. I just love doing it. I'm driven to do it. Now it's become like, part of my income and my jobs. Eh,
Identity.
I mean, and
Also,
that,
let's get into that
yeah.
too.
So I
Right.
think that it really depends on the video. I don't like doing any videos just off the cuff without knowing what it is, or at least knowing what the core of it is. And a
Yeah.
way to think about that is the way, like, because the one thing that might be kind of thought about a little bit is the fact that these videos, this content works because it's relatable and it's shareable. So I like to find the balance of how could I make this relatable and shareable and still have like some personality and person to it. So I'm not just jumping on a trend and I'm not just recycling like, 40-year-old guys be like this. Like I'm trying like there so I don't think about that element too much, but there is a little bit of like writing for social media and content has a point of view that is how is the audience really going to receive this and want to share it and want to send it to their friends, because
Can you tell me about that a little bit? Like making the switch from just making content that you thought was funny to making content that would resonate on a wider
yeah.
level?
So I think the trick is like the things that are going to resonate are the things that you think are funny. Like what
Yeah.
I think is funny is what other people are going to think is funny. Like, and I think that's true for everybody. Like your thing is what is going to connect you to other people that are going to like your thing. So you got to hone in on
Right.
that. And I don't it's hard to like really describe because it's so like it's a big concept, but it's like, like okay, if you think of the title of my video, That One Rich Couple, like titles are really important on content because it sets up immediately kind of like what we're about to watch in this short period of time. If you're really trying to write some stuff or come up with ideas, it's like you can think of them in titles. And one thing I always like to do is like I have like That One Rich Couple, I have That One Acting Teacher, I have that, and like what by saying that one acting teacher or that one whatever, like you're really being specific to this one person that you've created,
Hmm.
but you're taking these ideas. Like I have this video called That One Acting Teacher, and it was built based on real things that I've heard about acting teachers in LA. Like don't highlight your lines. Like these weird eccentric things that these acting teachers say, and I just like smashed them down to this one person. And then it just becomes really relatable because you're like, oh, my acting teacher says that, or like, I don't know. So it's,
I think I saw the one that one casting director.
yeah. And like
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Because-
And that's like,
yeah.
so that one casting director, basically, that was something that I was like, it was just like a hit. I was like, this needs to be a video. I know exactly what it is. It's just following your instincts really and just like having fun and like seeing what sticks and seeing what it, but again, you don't want to get too much into the planning of like what is going to work, what are people looking for, because that's when you lose your authenticity and you lose your like your
Right.
voice.
Yeah. So for well, your videos are what, about 90 seconds, something like that, and on Insta?
Yeah, I mean, I
Mm.
usually try to do like a minute. A
A
lot of
minute. Okay.
people would disagree that that's good. Like, but for me, I like to make 10 around a minute. Yeah.
No, I think
And there's longer.
you do it really well.
I've done
Yeah.
longer too. I hope this is interesting.
It's totally interesting. It's great. This is exactly I mean, I'm asking kind of technical questions, but because that's what
Yeah,
interests
and I
me.
think that the thing is you really just have to look at it like you can't go results first. You have to just be like, okay, what am I interested in? What can I what can I do? And there's this like quote from what's her name? She's a writer, and the quote is everything is copy, right? Everything is copy. And the idea is like everything in your life is ripe for material and ripe for writing. And I think I like that term in content. Like everything is content and everything is content. Like you don't have to be making hilarious videos every day. You don't have to be Larry David or like, like you can, like everyone has a place to post content, and everyone has like a point of view about things. And like, and
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
just am like, just find what that, what that is. And
So let's stop there for just a sec because as I was kind of, doing my research and looking at your stuff, and after having seen a bunch of your
Mhm.
videos and not having met you personally, so not, this is the first interaction we're really having as just human being to human
Right.
being. So you were saying that you need to find your point of view and you need to find your voice, basically. And I couldn't agree more. One of the things I do in addition to acting is I'm a career coach for actors. And you have to start with, like, who am I? Right? What is my point of view? How do I know? And why did I get called in for this audition? And how do I adjust on what I have through this audition and all of that? So are these things you just sort of figured out by trial and error, seeing yourself so much? I mean, because that's sort of the advantage of doing so much filming, writing for
Yeah.
yourself. Or did you work with a coach to figure out your brand?
I mean, I kind of like, I would say I really went through the process. That's why like I have so many credits on my IMDb, because I was doing every single thing I can to try to figure out who I am and what works and what wasn't work, what doesn't work. I've always, okay, let me rephrase. So when I moved to LA, I was kind of like, I knew nothing. I knew nothing about what to do, how to get started. Like I just knew nothing. This was not my world. I had done theater and that sort of thing, but like professional life, I knew nothing about it. And I kind of, when I got here randomly, I had a friend that I met that was a casting assistant at a commercial place, and she got me an audition for a commercial audition, and I got like a call back, and I was like, oh, okay, this is something. So I focused a lot of my energy early on in the commercial, and I think that the commercial world really helps you understand your own type and how you're seen. And if you just think of type as like we can acknowledge that we hate types, but also we all are a type. And
Absolutely. Well, I always say it's kind of like the icing on the cake, right? You think you know what you're getting based on how the cake
yeah,
looks,
and
but you actually
I
don't.
think it's good when people can, I always say it's good when people can look at you and think of you as a certain thing, because like like that quick identification of like, oh, this is a nerdy person, this is a smart, like the we and what we're looking for is like, what do you lead with? Like what is your like essence?
Yeah.
It's not like, do you have a big nose or like hair? It's like what's your essence when people like see you?
Yeah.
I think that the commercial world taught me with the characters that I was playing that like I'm a I play befuddled very well. Like so just learning where your energy, where you feel most comfortable acting and where you feel most comfortable being yourself in front of a camera and on stage, like that's where you start really developing your type. And again, in this day and age, like the whole thing is like types, roles, they look for every different type of person for roles these days, which is a really great thing because the leads are played by people that are less, you know, traditionally attractive than they used to be. Like there's a lot of like shifting that goes on. But I mean, it's really just work. It's work. It's like figuring out who you are and like showing up in um different types of characters and different types of moods and seeing what works for you. Like, I can't play like a tough guy in the way that I think of like a tough guy, but I can
Right.
play that
Right.
guy in the way that Clayton plays that guy. Like, it's like,
I think I
it's
know
like
what you're saying. I mean, yeah, I could you
our
yeah.
types are within us. They're not us playing other types. I don't know if this is making any sense.
Exactly. Totally. I always say we are faceted
Yeah.
diamonds, right? So whenever I'm trying to get into character, it's all I have to do is our big facet, the crown of the diamond, is like the mask that we walk through the world with. It's the type, right? All that stuff that's up there. But the brand, like all the nooks and crannies, the shadows, all of the valleys of, deep dark night of the soul, that's all those facets as you get down to the
Right.
bottom. And sometimes the character will be further away and you kind of have to look
Yeah.
for it. But I'm not looking out here. I'm looking
Yes.
here. Where is she?
I, yeah.
Right. And then it's like, oh, okay, I can shine her up and bring her out to the light,
I love that.
and there she
Yeah.
is.
And
Yeah.
I think that that's like we all have all these types in us. Like there's like if you we have every version of a type, quote unquote. So it's like how can you find that within yourself? I love what you just said. And also like just play with your headshots. I've done so many freaking headshot sessions. Like
Yeah.
and you know,
This is the thing too, right? So many actors, like 20-year career, maybe you've taken headshots 10 times,
yeah. Yeah.
right? And that's
Right.
crazy because this is what you're getting booked
Right.
on.
And
Yeah.
there's been times where cuz like headshots back in the day like you would dress like a doctor or you would dress like a cop or
Right.
like and I kind of think like people don't do that anymore. Like you can if you want to, I guess you can do whatever you want, but it's like how do we hint at those sorts of like in photos? Like I'm going to have a shot where I look like a nerd, a smart person that could play a doctor. I'm just going to have that shot
Yeah.
and that's gonna lean into your lawyer, whatever, white collar jobs. Then you're gonna have the blue collar job. But like, I think that there's this time where you kind of shift and you're like, oh, I don't want to be a type. I want to be myself, and I want that to be the thing that people like grab onto.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think a lot of actors get to that
Yeah,
stage. First you're in that I just want to work. I don't care. And then you start doing that and you're like, well, actually,
exactly.
I'd like, yeah.
We lose ourselves in that kind of like energy sometimes of like, I just want to work. I just want to work.
Yeah.
But it's so true. We need that. We need those early days of like being the one line doctor or whatever it is. But it's you start to learn that like, oh, I can just be myself. I kind of wish I would have known that like earlier, but here we are.
Little, but exactly. I mean, that is a huge thing, but that's a saying, right? If I only knew then what I know
Yeah.
now and had the energy in the body,
Right.
it's go along with. So you've been doing this for then what, 10 years, 15 years, the
I
online
would say I've been
content? How
I
how
would
long?
say like probably 10 years. I
10
mean,
years.
even
Okay.
before Vine, I was making little shorts that I was posting on like Facebook and like and on YouTube. So I've been doing it for 15
Really?
years, yeah.
As an aside, have you ever heard of Too Much Light Makes a Baby Go Blind?
Is it a play?
It's the
I
neo-futuristic,
have.
the
The Neo-Futurist.
neo-futurist.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yeah. Okay. Just only because they do 32-minute stints.
Okay.
And some are really funny, some are
Yes.
disgusting. They're just like, and some
So
are really
my
poignant.
monologue that I did for many years was from Neo-Futurist. Yeah.
Wow.
It was called
Okay.
the idea
Yeah.
of you, and I still do it sometimes. Yeah, so I do know them. Yeah, but yeah,
And just because, I mean, that was, God, I mean, I was living in Chicago. They came from
yeah.
Chicago, and this was like 35 years, and a long
Did
time
you do
ago.
theater in Chicago?
Oh.
You did?
Yeah, I did. And I also did Second City and all that, but I was like you. I think I got the level 3 or 5 or something like that. It was right in the beginning. First of all, I was so, kind of pretentious, honestly, in my idea of what an actor should
Yep.
be. And I just felt it was like, what is this? Improv. This is not acting. I want to do real acting. And and I was doing it because my grandma she was like, you should do this. You're funny. And I was, I don't know. And so I didn't stay with it, although I agree because back then, and probably still, who knows, but everybody was going from Second City to Saturday
Right.
Night Live.
Yeah.
And I wanted the classical
Of
track.
course. I mean, I always think like because when I moved to
Yeah.
LA, my name was Clayton Shane Farris. Like I went by
Um,
that three name, and I feel like male
yes.
actors, yeah,
Okay.
like from male actors from like the theater want to have always have those three word like they use their whole name because it's I mean it's
Oh, good. Yes, my name is Ann Alexander C.
yeah, but there's a hyphen.
Right. That's true. Named by the hyphen.
But I love a little pretension in my actors.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you can kind of laugh at
Yeah.
yourself about it, I guess it works. So the reason I was asking how long you had been doing, the producing your own content as much as regularly as you do, when did you notice that it started to have an effect on your career in a good way?
So I think even way back to the Vine days, there were, and again, like I look at my career in like phases almost. Like the first part of my LA acting career was commercials. Like I was a commercial, and I was doing other things. I was doing theater, but I was really focusing on that world and kind of like trying, because that was where you could make money and support yourself.
LA is
Yeah, and
expensive.
get insurance and like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
in that world, the commercial world, I remember kind of like some of the agency people or like the creatives on the creative side mentioning like, oh, we've seen your vines or like we've seen your work or like then it got to a point where like, oh, this director is like a fan. And I'm like, wait, what? This is crazy. And even then I was like, oh my God, this is actually having in the real world. Like people are watching this and creative people, watch creative things and creative people work in LA and work in this industry. So like back in the day, there like when I was doing Vine, that it first started happening there in the commercial world where these agency people were paying attention. And then when everything moved over to Instagram, like it was just the same thing. Like there were little hints that like, oh, so when you get an email that's like, hey, I've seen your social media. Will you audition for my short film? Like little things like that. But it wasn't really until the pandemic happened and we were all in that place of just like we had so much taken away from us and that's when Instagram introduced Reels. And I just started making, I refound kind of my creativity. And it just so happened that it lined up when Reels came out. And I started posting, I did this video called Every Los Angeles Hike. And I had just taken all the things that I was hearing from the community and from the people in LA, and I put them into like a succinct little 1 minute video while on a hike. And that video blew up and got millions of views and not even meaning to. It was very LA centric. Like, oh, I wasn't thinking about this at all. But so the people that started following me are the people that live in LA and the people that like I said, like those people work in the business. So I started noticing, oh, like this manager started following me. Oh, this casting person started following me. Oh, like Reese Witherspoon started following me. Just like random people. And
Right.
I just focused on continuing to do the content and like that sort of thing. Slowly it just started paying off in a way where I would go to an audition and someone would say, I love your videos. Or I would be on the street and someone would say, I work in casting. I'm a big fan of your videos. Just little things like that. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is
Have you begun to get direct requests, well, like without an
so these
audition?
days.
That's kind of some nerve, right? Somebody calls you up for a short and says, "We audition for my short." After seeing all of your work.
Yeah, I mean, like that happens all the time, and it's happened on a level of smaller filmmakers, and it's also happened on a level where I've now gotten the opportunity to audition for major projects, and it's because these casting people see my work. That's how they know who I am. But I've been training as an actor this whole time. I go to class every week, and so
Yes.
there so when I'm still auditioning, and when I get these opportunities, they're like, "Oh, this guy's funny, he has a following, and he's actually a trained actor that is, like, ready to do some of these roles." And so,
Yeah.
I mean, it just has paid off, and again, that's not my intention with it ever. Like, sure, I wanted people to see it, and I wanted to make people laugh, but, like, I did get, like, an offer for a movie recently that was, like, a big movie, and I was just like, how did that happen? Like while I was on set, I was like, what happened? Like, why am I here with these other actors? And slowly sussing it out, one of the producers follows me. There was kind of like a last minute character change. And she was just, she was like, I was top of mind because maybe she had just seen this video and she was like, what about this guy? So it just, yeah, like that sort of happens. I just did an amazing movie with Bobby Farrelly, one of the Farrelly brothers, and someone from that team of producers watches my video and like asked me to audition. And it's just it's surreal and I'm really like grateful for it. And
Well, you've done a ton of work to it as
yeah,
well. It's not like this is just fallen into your lap. been working at this continually for 10
Yeah.
years. And
And
so,
that's the
yeah,
thing.
be grateful, but you've been doing the
I've been
work.
doing the work
So,
and I'm doing that stuff. I hope that people, what I really hope that people see from my videos is like you mentioned, that I love doing this. I have fun doing this. I look at acting as like a fun, exciting, like it's play. And I want that to come across most of all in my videos because that lends itself to filmmaking and to into the creative process. And people want to work with those types of people.
yeah, for sure. So can we switch
Yeah,
again? Let's pivot again. And because I know that this has led to some brand deals and things like that for you, which is also great. It sure beats waiting
yes,
tables or, selling shoes. So tell me about that, like how that works for you and how you get
sure.
them and those kind of
So I
things.
think it's just like I mean, I started getting brand deal offers when I had like 50,000 followers. And I really
Mhm.
just think it's like there's agencies and the social media teams for different companies and these corporations and these products are online looking for people to work with because social media is a huge kind of advertising space now. I mean, that's what we're doing when we do these brand deals. It's advertising.
So what does that look like? Is it like brand placement or?
So usually for the type of stuff I do, it's like a brand will come to me and they'll say, like for me, because I make content and write sort of things, like they basically will come to me and be like, can you essentially make a short commercial for like featuring our product that you're going to post on your page and potentially we'll boost it online, potentially we'll use it on our own social medias. Like it's that sort of thing. So like the first one I kind of did that was like really cool was Zappos, which is like, a shoe company. It's kind of like
Oh
it's
yeah.
like it's owned by Amazon. They just do shoes. I got a deal with them for a whole year to do like 16 videos. And I got paid what at the time I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I got paid this much money. And in hindsight,
Was it enough to cover your
it,
rent and your
it
living
yeah, it was
expenses?
enough to, yes, it was enough to, I'll just say it. I got paid 45K but it was for
Great.
six, it was for
Yeah.
16 videos. So in hindsight, you're kind of like, that sounds like a lot of money, especially to me having no money at the time.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it ends up being a lot of work. It ends up kind of
Yeah.
like becoming a focus of your social media. It ends up, it's like,
So there was a definite payoff and
yeah, there's
price,
a price you pay
both.
for it. And
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
way that I look at it is like, okay, I do brand deals so I can continue to make my normal content for people and it's like we're little television channels. So these brands come to you and they're just like, we have a new product. I just did one for like Shiseido sunscreen, which is so weird because it's like it's a
Wild.
a
Totally.
high-end
Yeah.
skincare
Yeah.
line. And I honestly, when I got the email from them, I was like, this is spam. Because you also get a
Wow.
lot of spam these
Yeah.
days. Um,
Sure.
and I was like, this is spam. And then I got it again, and I was like, what is this? And then so I sent it to my agent, and I was like, will you just see if this is real? And we worked out this great deal, but it's literally like their sunscreen stick. And they're like, take this sunscreen stick and make funny videos. You're kind of like,
But I mean, think about the creative freedom in
yes.
that. That's amazing. Take the sunscreen stick and make funny
Yeah,
videos. And there is something kind of inherently funny about a
I
sunscreen
know.
stick
And there
anyway.
is, and I
So,
think that what's working about what we're doing is we have these characters that people like and have that we've built. And like the rich couple, and again, this is so unintentional. It just became ripe for brands to want to work with them because it's like the couples are obsessed with brands. And like
yes.
that was not on purpose. Like that was not on the
Uh,
purpose. And the thing is like I am just like I'm an this is where people are going to change the channel again. I'm a artist. I want to see myself as an artist. I don't want to be a sellout. I don't want to be, but we got to survive and we got, like these brands are going to pay somebody to make content for them. So like may as well be me. I'll do the best I can. It's gonna
Think you're not giving yourself enough credit. I don't see that as selling out
I
at
know.
all. I mean, artists deserve to be
Yes.
paid.
And that's
And
true. And I
yeah,
think that, like this has taught me a lot about self-worth and kind of like it's given me more like what's the word? Permission to step into my own power and to ask for what I think what I deserve. This is going to be controversial to say, but I think some of the reason that a lot of these social media people don't cross over into traditional media is because, and I'm not here yet, but like the money is so different. Like it's a lot of these social media people aren't used to like they can't work a 12-hour day.
right. Right.
They can't be in like the
Yeah,
grind of like
well,
making a movie or like
right,
that's
right.
not for them. They got paid $10,000 for 5 minutes. So I just feel I
Yeah, yeah, it's another mindset. It's another, well, they have a different reason
yeah.
behind it. Do you remember the woman, what's her name? I don't know. I think she's an Australian woman, and she was posting pictures of herself as a famous model, but she is not typically, what's considered
Uh-huh.
attractive. And, she would, they'd be like, the model, and so then she would do it,
Oh,
and
yes.
they would,
Yes.
you know who I'm
Yes.
talking
I think her
about?
name's Celeste
Okay, I can't
Barber.
think of,
Yeah.
well, she ended up getting a
I know.
series.
And like, see, that's like
Yeah.
the whole thing. And she was doing brand deals too. And like if like we got to reshift what we think about these like social media influencers and that sort of thing. Because yes, there's a whole market of them where it's not, like they're not actors. They're not pursuing art. They're not trying to figure out how to be a good actor. They're not trying to tell stories. They're not, and that's one thing. But I'm an example of someone that can like still be creative, still be a storyteller, still play characters, still have fun, and still like I feel like I tiptoed into this world. Like I'm not an influencer. Like I'm a 40-year-old man with gray hair that's thinning. And I just did a brand deal for Shiseido. Like, like
Right.
who else is doing brand deals for Shiseido?
Right.
22-year-old beautiful women like in bikinis and then me. Like it's like it's a weird way to cheat the system. That's how I always like look at this stuff. I'm like, Hollywood has never like, yes, I've gotten to do some cool things, but no one's ever been like, we choose you to be a part of this. Like this is my way of like wedging myself in there in a way.
I think it's a great way,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, and this is, it's like a lot of the European clients want to move to America, and then so a lot of them will come and work with me, thinking I'm going to be that ticket, like to get them. I was like, no, first become big here,
Yeah.
and that America will ask for you.
Yeah.
But don't go to L.A. where everybody in the world is who's more talented, more beautiful, better credits, all of that stuff. And then expect to show up and be like, well, you didn't do anything really in your country, so why are you
Right.
here? And then you're also swimming uphill with the accent and
And
everything
I
else.
think that mindset of like, we all had that. Like when you get to LA, you're like, this is not going to be a struggle for me. I'm going to get picked off the street. Someone's going to
Yeah.
see me. Like like
Yeah.
delusional or not, I had that thought at certain times in my head. I was like, this is going to be easy for me because I'm so talented. And like, you find out like, no, that's not true. You're in a world where all these people are talented. There's so many better
Yeah.
actors than me, but people don't give job. That's not how you get work in this industry anymore. And maybe ever. It's like what I'm doing is trying to create opportunity for myself. Like it's just about opportunity. It's like, where can I drum up opportunity? And if I'm posting online content that is funny and well made and represents me in a good light, like I'm going to be, like I said, top of mind in some producer's head, top of mind in a director's head. It's like we're just, and like these
Yeah.
people are seeing that, like, oh, I'm in the process of it just like them. I can be someone that can be on set and work and come up with ideas. It's as opposed to like, if someone's just sitting there not doing anything to like drum up their own opportunities or like drum up, then it's like you're not proving yourself to be a valuable asset to a film or to a TV show. Like be an asset to this. Like I don't know, like prove yourself as an asset, not in a way. not in a desperate way, but in a way of just like, look, I'm doing this anyways over here. I'm making my stuff and y'all can invite me to the party whenever you want, but I'm not even going to be worried about it because I'm so invested in what I'm doing. That's really always been my
Mm,
mindset. And when
mm,
people are
mm.
complaining about the state of the industry and no auditions, and like, look, first of all, that is true. And it's not my focus because I have so many other things going on. Like, I want to be in a position where I get an audition and I'm like, oh shit, I have an audition. Real
Because you love doing what you're doing. Yeah, that makes perfect
like
sense. Yeah,
not
yeah.
really. Like, I want the auditions and I still very much want to be, received by this industry. But I also can like I'm busy doing other things that fill me up creatively. So when I
Mhm.
get an audition, I'm not desperately going after it or
Needing it.
needing it.
Yeah, and that energy comes across
And
for
it
sure.
really does.
So it totally does, absolutely. Yeah, if you only get one audition every 6 months, it becomes so much more important. But if you're already doing other work or something else is fulfilling you in another way,
Mm.
it just takes the pressure off and you allow yourself also the freedom. I think that, being financially strapped, broken,
Yes.
right? So, and also that goes not just finances, but also for creativity.
Yes.
So if you're not funding your creativity, right, it's not going to pay you dividends when you
I
need
love
it.
that.
Yeah. And so that's yeah, I totally agree with that. But I want to ask you some, like, I guess, quick questions about
Yeah.
technical stuff, right? So when you're filming, is it just your iPhone and like a good mic, or what are you doing? Do you have a team? Is it just you and a tripod and the other actor? What does that look like?
Usually at this point, I mean, it depends on the content of the video and like what I want the video to look like. But, I would say 50% of it's on iPhone and 50% of it's on a professional camera. And you like, there's always,
It's a drone camera,
you
I
just
guess.
shoot.
Yeah.
Well, like, there's two guys I work with, and one, like, these people are professional, like, DPs and filmmakers, and they don't like, no one loves the social media vertical stuff. Like, they're like,
Right.
so one of the
Yeah.
guys I have to kind of like one of them will shoot vertical and then this other guy he's just like doesn't like shooting vertical. So he shoots horizontal but he shoots like far away so it's still vertical. It's kind of confusing, but
Okay. So you can cut into it.
yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
So
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
just like what am I trying to make? What service is it? Like the rich couple we shoot on an iPhone and that's shot by Aliki, my comedy partner's husband, and he shoots it for us. We're not worried about like how good it looks. Like we want it to feel very man on the street, very like choppy. So that the iPhone really works for that. And we just have these little mics that you get that you can wear and
Is you on it or a
yeah,
road
it's
or
a Rode
something?
mic. It connects directly.
Yes.
It
Also
connects
great.
directly into the
Yeah.
phone. And like a Rode mic, getting these Rode mics, I think it's like $250, and that's a lot of money. But it's like invest in doing those things to really invest in like the things that are going to make it easier for you are going to make content so much easier and more fun and worth it in the end.
Absolutely. Not to mention that you can use that for a self tape and then write it off.
Absolutely.
I mean, I always use a real, I mic myself for myself.
Yeah, and I think that sound is so important. Like, sound is so
Yeah.
important for content. And then, like, for other things, like some of the brand deals, like I'm working with more of a team and like that sort of thing. And I put money into my content, and I even did when I don't have money. It's like I've always invested in the content and invest because it's an investment in myself. And I'm making good relationships with people. I'm being a nice person so I can go up to my local coffee shop and be like, "Hey, can I shoot a video here?" And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely." Like I'm trying to build that part of me that's like part of the community and part of like LA and trying to lift up LA. And that ends up paying off in the end because people are like, "I like what you're doing. You can shoot." I get messages all the time that are like, "You can shoot at our place." And like, so someone was this Pilates studio was like, please shoot here. And I'm like, okay, what's the Pilates idea gonna be? But the
Yeah.
technical stuff is really just like, and we have to figure it out. Like like it sucks. Like at my age, I'm already technology is past me. I'm like, that's where I'm at. And I still have to figure this stuff out. I have to like get good at editing on these apps.
So what do you use? Yeah, to edit.
So right now there's this app called CapCut, and it's actually owned by it's
Oh
owned by
yeah,
TikTok. So like it
yeah.
went away during that TikTok ban. And I actually was like, oh my God, like that is like an app that I'm like dependent on. I was like, that I need
Yeah.
that more than I need TikTok. And so you just TikTok CapCut is an amazing,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
And they also
I mean, it's truly
it's truly
amazing.
amazing. You
Yeah.
can do sound editing, you can do so much on it. And it looks overwhelming, but when you get in there and play with it, it's actually very intuitive. You can add music
Mm.
on things that's non-copyrighted. Like it's an amazing app. And Instagram is currently doing their version because
Oh,
Instagram
really?
steals.
Oh, I
So they're
didn't know that.
making their version
Okay.
of CapCut now. Um,
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah, so that's like some of the technical stuff. And just
That's good. No, that's and that it goes to show you how accessible that is, right? So just on your cell phone, we all have great cell phone these
yeah,
days, and a decent mic. And hey, you could also, you could start with a $20 lav mic. Just plug it literally into your
yeah.
iPhone, and then sync it. So, and then what is it? $59 a year on
Yeah.
CapCut. So divide that by
And and
12. Well, not I don't
and
do
you
that,
it's
but
like
yeah.
$6 a month. And
And
you will be surprised with how many people want to like people are bored and they want to be creative. So it's like asking people to shoot with you, asking your friends like, "Hey, you want to go make a video?" Like
yes,
truly
for
like
sure.
if you get an
Yeah.
idea and you're out somewhere, you have to get over that cringy element of like I want to shoot something. Just give your phone to your friend and be like, "Hey, shoot this real quick." And then
Yeah.
like honestly, and then sit on it and then watch it the next day and you'll be like, "Oh my God, that's a video."
Yeah, that's too funny. It just reminded me, like, I had made my husband, like, do a self-tape, hold the phone for me while we're in an airplane with 15 minutes, like, I have got to get this damn
Right.
tape loaded,
Yeah.
my self-tape needs to be submitted. It's like, there are people around, I don't care. If I'm acting in front of them, just hold the damn phone.
It's true.
Very good. There's a skit.
You lose some of your self-respect. No, I'm just kidding. But you lose some of that nervous, like you lose that like embarrassment muscle. You're just like, I got to
Yeah,
get this done.
yeah,
I've
exactly,
actually
exactly.
stopped shooting. Me and my partner Laura don't really record each other as much anymore with audition.
Oh, well, yeah. Is she an
Yeah.
actor too?
And it not for any reason, just
Okay.
because it's like you have your own relationship and it doesn't always need to like
Have that
yeah.
editing. Well, I mean, my husband has nothing to do with the industry. He's an architect, and he's kind of mortified by any kind of any
Yeah,
of
yeah,
this, right? Like if he had to he wouldn't even give a speech at his father's funeral.
yeah. He doesn't like that.
So like, no. So, like, just hold
Just
the
hold the
phone.
phone and say
Pull
these
yourself
lines.
together.
But sometimes it's good to have people like that because they're
Yeah.
not overacting on the other end of the self-tape, you know? I think
Mm.
sometimes it's useful.
Well, he does try and get into it sometimes. He hates it. And then when I told my son about it, like I was laughing, right? So with Papa and I were there. He's like, "Oh my God, Papa had to hold the phone for you at the terminal." And he's just imagining this for himself because he knows that had he been with us, he would have been holding
Right.
that damn phone.
That's funny.
All right. Well, Clayton, what last, I guess, parting words of advice do you have for people who want to make their own content?
I would just say like don't be afraid of it. Don't let this not be a part of your journey and your storytelling. I mean, people are doing it and I feel like actors are actually better at it than a lot of the people that are doing it because you have on-camera training and you have the ability, you know how to play a character. Like just let it be a part. Dip your toe in. See what it does for you. See like what it opens up. Even if it just opens up the creative muscle, like that serves you so much more. And take your power back. That's what it is. Like take the power back and put it in your own hands. And like that is such a big shift in this whole business of show. Like it really is. When you take your power back, people like pay attention and it's exciting. So I just encourage people like I'm like, please just post. I got paid money
Yeah.
last week to go to the desert and live in an amazing house. And
That's amazing. No, no, it really is. And it's wonderful. I think
it's
you're right. You just
available.
have to do it and find your
Yeah.
voice, and know that nobody's going to see the first 20,
Mm,
30 videos
And
anyway.
and
Not really
also
beyond
like what do
friends.
you do when you see a video you don't connect with? You just scroll by it. Like I have to deal with that
Right.
every day. I'm like people if this isn't for people, they're just going to scroll by it. It's not a big deal.
Exactly. I had that myself when I first started my
Yeah.
podcast.
Mm.
I was like, oh, but then you just like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep
Yeah,
doing
and
this.
like
And
this is
yeah,
like there's so many times because I'm so obsessed with acting, like I stumble upon podcasts like this all the time. Like we need like this is not frivolous. Like this is needed content. Like you're producing this guy you had on last time that was like how to like step into your energy of like being a star or whatever what was the thing that this like it was something and I was like this is really interesting and really useful. And like we all have value, we all have something to say, we all have something to add and like step into that, like own it. That's that's
yeah, for
that's what
sure.
I think.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Well, nobody gets out of here without answering one question.
Okay.
And that question is, name something bold that the name of the show is Act Bold, right? So name something bold, and I don't think it's going to be a big stretch for you to find something that you've done in your life that maybe had an unexpected but positive outcome.
Oh my God. This is a tough one. Um maybe maybe moving I'm just gonna say moving to LA without
So,
having any plan or any idea or any thought of what I was doing. I just kind of followed my intuition in a way. Like I had no plan. I didn't even know I was really gonna really focus on being an actor. But just making that up like that is really big. And also quitting drinking, life changing.
yeah, and not
Not
easy,
easy.
you know? Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine. But definitely reduce. And even that is very noticed by
Yeah.
everyone. And but oh, you're drinking water? It's like, well, I just had a glass of wine. I'm gonna have a couple glasses of
Right.
wine and maybe I'll have another wine. But
And so
yeah.
this is
Able
can I share one more
yeah.
thing? And this is kind
Yes,
of like
absolutely.
the woo side of it. Like last year I went to my therapist and I was like I want to take myself more seriously. And that was just what was coming up for me. And saying that like sorry, I'm like almost getting emotional, but it's like
Right.
allowing myself to take myself more seriously made me sillier than ever, made me it something about that, like, and what taking myself more seriously meant was realizing that I deserve everything that I want in this world as an actor and
Right.
as a
Right.
person. And really just saying that to myself, I know that actors can resonate with that, you know? Like we deserve what we desire. And even if that's just self-love or whatever it is, taking yourself seriously is like a real gift you can give yourself.
Absolutely. Saying that is so beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. And
Honestly. Ah,
and that like we beat ourselves up so much and it's like we don't need to do that.
oh, true. I always say that, as actors, we give more compassion to a character that out on the street we would think is
Right.
despicable. But because we're playing that person, they get our compassion so that we can find their humanity and play them as a three-dimensional human being and not a
Yeah.
caricature.
And that's not a skill
So
that a
yeah,
lot of people can do.
true. True, and I don't know that I do it in real life, but I definitely can do it with character. There are certain people I just don't, some politicians. I'm not going to say anything, but
Yeah.
yeah, but it's so true that we often, I think, just as human beings, our first idea is, I had the Warfit guy on Michael. Oh, I can't think of his last name now, but he's well known. He's done all sorts of TED Talks on being enough. The enoughness guy. That's his moniker.
Yeah.
The enoughness
And but
guy.
it's so
Yeah.
it's like the self-help finally starts making sense at a certain point. It's like you're like, "Oh, like this stuff is true and it matters and we really have to value ourselves before other people are going to value us."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that, I think
I think we're
we
good.
will call it a day. I think we're good, but wait,
Well, wait.
wait, there's more. People need to know how to get a hold of you. So where can they find you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Instagram at Clayton Farris. Farris is with an A. I'm on TikTok at Clayton Farris. That's really where I'm posting and putting my stuff out there. And I'm available. I read DMs. I talk to people that follow me. It's like a community there.
I will
Yeah,
attest to that.
it's not like it's not. I'm not in like a fan situation. I'm like these are my community. These are my
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
And thank you so much for having me on because I love getting to talk about this.
It was such a pleasure. So let us know. Definitely tag Clayton, tag me. Let us know what really resonated with you guys about our talk. We covered so many different things, from creating your own content to what it means to brand yourself, to giving yourself compassion. Just let us know in the comments what stood out the most, or again, tag us on Instagram and let us know there. Until next time, you all stay your bold and beautiful selves. Bye-bye. And we done did it.
Yay! Oh my God, that was Barbara Walters quality.